Welcome back to Title Talk with Title Leap. I'm Jim Brown, attorney at James Brown Law and founder of Title Leap.
I'm David Velez, closer extraordinaire and chief development officer for Title Leap.
And this year we went to Inman Connect 2020 in New York. About 4,000 or 5,000 real estate agents gathered. Brad Inman puts it together every year. There was many days of discussion. So it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at the end of January.
Right. It was very cold.
Very cold. Not as cold as last year, but it was cold. Yeah. And Tuesday we talked about general trends in the market. Wednesday we talked about technologies. Mm-hmm. Thursday we talked about stats and directions of the market. And Friday was all about the future of what's going to happen to real estate and technology and where the joint venture money was flowing. So let's talk about Tuesday.
Okay, so Tuesday it was kind of, it started out with a review of what happened last year. And I remember when we went last year, one of the takeaways was the whole iBuyer concept.
Threat of iBuyers.
Yeah, the threat of iBuyers. So what is an iBuyer exactly?
iBuyer is where a seller wants to sell and a big company like Zillow or HomeLight or HomeBest or one of these big Open Door, they give you a price and a date, and there is no commission in theory. There's no listings and showings, and you close on that date, and it's not subject to financing of a buyer or anything like that.
And so it's essentially a guaranteed closing date.
Yep.
Guaranteed price, and surprisingly not as much of a premium to attain these things as one would think.
Yeah, so it was assumed that these guys would be buying at a big discount, but the reality is they buy at a loss, so they're buying very close to market, and they actually anticipate losing money in the iBuy transaction, but they make money in the collateral transaction. So they give you a nice offer, but then they nickel and dime you in the fees and things like that.
Okay.
And so at the end of the day, they aren't as great as they look, but at the initial offer, they look great.
Right.
And that's just a real takeaway. But I think one of the things that they stressed was that sellers agents should use iBuyers as a tool in their arsenal to get your listing at the listing appointment. Address the whole iBuying concept. Don't dance around it. The sellers are knowledgeable. They're going to have seen the advertising.
Right.
Show up maybe even with an iBuyer offer and explain to the seller why you can do better.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And that was like one of the big themes, takeaways this year was that the human element is not going away anytime soon.
Yeah. Agents add a big value. And so the technology gets you the information quickly, but certainly buyers want to know the local flavor. They want to know lots about the community, lots about the schools. Those are things that the platforms can't provide. The other thing that was big last year was they were talking a lot about Zillow, and there was a whole lot of doom and gloom about Zillow taking over agents.
Right. So now Zillow, how would they take over agents exactly?
Well, just do away with listing agents, do away with all that stuff. And again, it comes down to the value proposition of having a human. So sellers may or may not know how to list a property and prepare it and do all those things. That's the value proposition that a live agent adds, and that's really what was stressed at this show. Right. Agents aren't going away. They just have to show them. They just have to show sellers and buyers the added value of dealing with an agent. But there was definitely not that pending feeling of the agent's life cycle is finite because of these big tech platforms.
Right.
The other thing I wanted to talk about was immersive 3D home tours. Don't think of this like a video walkthrough.
So immersive 3D, they render the inside of the property? Is that how it would work?
Yep. You set up a camera in the office, in the space, like a Matterport. I think Matterport.com. These cameras used to cost $10,000 plus. Now these cameras are very inexpensive. You set them up in the space. They scan the interior of the space. A buyer can actually click into the space, look at the floor, look at the ceiling, stand in front of the sink, and look out the window like they would look out the window if they were standing right in the property. There's some interesting statistics that came out of a study that they did, and the home sold 30% faster.
30% faster.
And 9% higher than they would have otherwise.
That is really eye-opening.
Yeah.
Those are big numbers.
So that covers the commission. That covers the cost of the 3D tour plus, right? Yeah. So of the tech that we talked about on Tuesday and Wednesday, 3D immersive tours, use iBuyers to your benefit, and do not fear Zillow and all those other platforms.
Right, and you know, takeaway for me was like that human element, relationships. People are going to work with who they like at the end of the day. So
be genuine.
Exactly, you be genuine, and you're going to be fine.
So tune in to us on social media for more Title Talk on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Hit subscribe, and we will see you next week.
Talking about so